Eric Adams is the mayor of New York. He's known primarily as a retired captain from the New York Police Department. However, he's well educated and he has served other roles in public service, including for the New York State Senate based in Brooklyn. He's been accused of a variety of federal charges, mainly stemming from fundraising from foreign nationals, specifically Turkish individuals that have purportedly contributed to his campaign, both before winning election and afterwards, including acts of wire fraud in concealing the contributions and bribery in attempting to influence New York City Fire Department in approving permits and things to get the Turkish embassy up and going in New York City.
Well, he has denied all charges and insists on staying in his role while the case continues. Can he indeed do that?
Yes. The governor of New York has certain powers to initiate forcing him to resign. However, that would be a lengthy process, and with the mayoral primaries coming up in June 2025, and this federal case not likely to be resolved before that time, the governor may be better off just letting things play out and see how they develop. Because after all, this is an evidence-based case. The New York governor does not have access to the evidence, and we can make certain inferences with respect to the indictment. But that would not be entirely fair to both Mayor Adams as well as anybody charged with an offense. I mean, in the United States, the presumption of innocence is supposed to be one of our bedrock principles of law.
Well, some of Mayor Adams' senior aides are also being probed. What are investigators trying to find out?
Well, the expression follow the money. The money originates and travels through a variety of intermediaries. So there are fundraisers, staffers for Mayor Adams, business people associated with Mr. Adams that may or may not have participated in the pathway from the origination of the funds, allegedly from Turkish sources, to the receipt of them and reporting of them with the mayor.
Well, it leaves his administration in turmoil somewhat with the sudden resignation of Mr. Adams' police commissioner, the retirement of his school's chancellor. Do you think this could all signal the start of the end of Mayor Adams' mayorship?
Well, yes, without saying the man is guilty, because I don't know either. But there is, as you pointed out, so much chaos, and it makes governing extremely difficult if the public sees what's going on and is unsure. If allies become, well, I'm not sure. If enemies become emboldened, politics is a very tumultuous and aggressive place to conduct business. Everybody wants to be top dog. And so no doubt this does not assist Mayor Adams in any respect and may not assist the people of New York City.
And David, what happens next then? You mentioned that the trial could go on for quite some time. Could he also face a lengthy prison sentence for the charges?
Well, there's a hearing today in New York City at 10 a.m. New York time to map out a schedule, a timeline. His attorneys have made certain allegations also, but these will not be resolved today. So we'll find out more later in the day as to the specifics. But even a timeline established is very flexible because there may be many legal motions heard in the interim, appeals, interlocutory appeals, and so forth. It's going to be a long road. Everybody has to buckle in and be patient and not reach conclusions before seeing the evidence. And that includes the pool of New York City residents, Manhattan residents that may be serving on the jury. So, it would be inappropriate to convict the individual on that basis. Although getting back to exposure, 45 years is the estimate of maximum exposure. If he's convicted, he'd likely serve significantly less time because the charges generally for a first-time offender would not run what's called consecutive, one after another. They would run at the same time, contemporaneously. So, but nevertheless, they're very serious charges, and they don't help the mayor in any way.
Well, you mentioned that it's been quite chaotic. I'm interested to find out, what the public response has been. How big a scandal is this with the presidential election just around the corner? Is this garnering a lot of attention?
Well, in New York City, yes, a lot of attention initially. It's a usual pattern. It makes every headline the first couple of days, and now it's receding a bit because without coming across too cynically, it is a variant of the pay-to-play scheme, which occurs quite often in the States and other places where fundraising, where running for election requires a great deal of money, and fundraising and getting things done requires all too often contributions, gratuities, dark funds, undisclosed. For my field, this is wonderful because I'm a follow the money individual with respect to what I teach, but it makes things very intransparent.
A lot of conversations around a trust in public officials. David, really good to get your views. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Again, thank you for having me, and have a wonderful evening.
You too.